So welcome back. This is Inktober Day 5. The prompt for today is deer, as in the doe, the buck, and not hello dear. I am going to try the black paper for this one, I think. I can't really think of anything special to do for it except just like a stag in a field, so I figured I would make it interesting and try drawing white ink on this black paper. I think I'm still going to try to do a construction drawing first, just to make sure everything is where I'm happy with, and then I'll probably ad-lib stuff like I usually do. That being said, let's get into it. I'm wanting to drop straight into drawing with the ink, but I need to do a rough sketch at least. I don't know how well it's going to show up on here. Turn this light on. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the pencil sketch, but I'm going to try. And again, rough idea, just to get an idea of where the proportions and everything are going to be. I might have to use the Sakura pencil. I know I said last time, I don't prefer to use this for underdrawings for inking because it tends to dig into the paper. And I just realized that this is rough on one side, by the way, and then this is, I think I said this in the video when I was talking about the supplies, but this let me just say, this is a Canson black drawing paper. All right, it is just a 7x10, considerably smaller than the other ones I have. I have 912, we have 1114, much smaller. This is more like a sketchbook style paper size. I'm used to having even an 8x5 size sketchbook. So, but anyway, one side of this is smooth and one of it is textured, and so this side I think is a little more, this is really textured and that's pretty smooth. So depending which way you flip the book, that's how you're going to get your texture. So the front side is smooth, the back side is textured. So if you need more of a watercolor texture, watercolor texture, then that would probably be better. Just a heads up, just in case you're wondering. I have never used this paper. I've used Canson, but I've never used black. So we'll see how this works out. And I got my reference image for this. This is just a white-tailed buck. He's got 2, 4, 6. Let's look at an 8-point buck. Yeah, he's a big boy. And he's in a field, kind of looks like a golden wheat field. It's kind of cool. So I'm gonna just keep it simple in terms of him. Maybe I throw a little bit of grass in the front, but for now I just want to get his main mass. That way I make sure it'll all fit, and I might throw some grass because you don't see his hooves and stuff. I could always draw them in, but in this picture you're not going to see it. So it's also going to be kind of a negaposi. So I'm going to go for wherever there's darks there's going to be whites, and wherever there's whites there's going to be darks. So we're going to flip it. At least that's my intention. Hopefully. So I'm so used to drawing people now. It's really interesting to draw stuff like that. So his main mass is basically it's almost a rhomboid. Am I saying that right? Probably not. I don't know. So his little tail is back here in this region. I'm just doing that to mark myself. His main portion is over here. I'm trying to get the mass of him down. The main mass of his chest is here, more or less, and that cuts back into his leg here. This doesn't go quite that high. His part of his leg doesn't go quite, and his rump comes down into his leg. Again, I don't know if you can see that. You may be able to see it better than I can. I don't know. Maybe you can see it. So his one leg is sort of tucked behind here, and the meat of his body is sort of here. He's got his one portion leg. This is sort of his upper part curved into his body. This is kind of where his joint attaches into the thoracic area of his chest, and the thoracic area is chest, basically. Yeah. You don't know what I'm saying, I hope. I also tend to draw on the side like this because I find it's less likely to dig into the paper. And a little pointy. His neck portion is somewhere in here, is about where his neck comes down. The other portion of it here kind of rolls into here. Gonna just erase a little bit because it's a little too crowded. Kind of hard to tell what I'm doing. So the main portion of his head is right around here, about where his antlers go. His big old fat leaf-like ears, which are here. And then he's got one over here, obviously. He has 2 of them, but the antlers are kind of blocking it. No, they are blocking it, kind of. Again, I didn't think about how much room I'm going to have. Well, I'm not used to drawing on something this small. I wanted to put his antlers in there. Now you're going to see his antlers. Oh, man. His body's a little long anyway. I'm going to start again. I'm going to have to go a little smaller and see how well this erases off of here. Well, I'll be damned. That actually works pretty well. I guess it's not taking into the paper and staining it very much. It just kind of sits on the top. My hand, I'm wearing a thumb. I'm wearing this here batch. I'm using a Band-Aid because my hands are real dry, man. And as it gets to be winter in Florida, my hands start to get really dry. It's not quite there yet. It's only, Inktober area. It's only getting into October, man. I mean, what are we doing? It's still humid enough outside. I don't know. My hands just get really dry. All right, cool. That erased really, really well. Well, there you go. Test done. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so let's try again. All right. I usually do the mass, but I do need to consider that his antlers are up here. Okay, so I'm just gonna guide myself. I'm gonna do this for his antlers, so I know not to go too high. The size of his head is in here, size of his body in this, sort of in that region. All right, if I keep in mind that his antlers half no higher than this is the top of his ear here, so I'm just gonna mark this in as a leaf here. I do forget how easy it is to draw with this pencil though. It's really smooth. I do like it. This side of his face down. It's definitely interesting to draw with. I don't I don't usually draw. Like I said, I've never drawn on this paper, so I don't know how it's going to come across. Okay, that's his nose. His eyes are in here. That's a little bit too high. He's looking like a schnauzer. Let me just get shape here. Yeah, it's funny. I've drawn a lot of horses and stuff, and I don't think I've ever drawn a buck. They're not that dissimilar in terms of, their basic shape. I mean, like their body structure and stuff, how they stand and all that. I've done elephants. So his antlers come down over the top, and the highest point is going to be here. Just trying to get this swoosh right. So his antlers kind of come. Not doing that right. All right, this one goes up. I'm just using a stick as my reference real quick, and I go behind it. Yeah, get his antlers sort of right, and then I can make them look three-dimensional. Yeah, there's one that goes behind here. Curves over top this one. This one goes behind, although it goes pretty high. And you can just use this as a guide more or less, and kind of symmetrically draw this one. Yeah, these are a bit fat. This is very interesting. I wasn't sure what to expect, but terrible. God, I swear I know how to draw. Oh man, booty. What am I doing? Okay. His eye height is a little wrong. In opinion, the angle of his eye, based on where his ear's at, and if you can hear that, it's my wife's business going off. She sells on eBay and stuff, and she gets messages all the time. Okay, that's somewhat presentable. People will message her all day. Yeah, normally I go for the mass first, but since I was running out of room, I wanted to make sure that this was correct. Yeah, this is a little sharp. It's not that much an angle. It's kind of a rounded. Trying to get this to round off a little more. It makes the graphite kind of silvery, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's an interesting experience to draw on this. I don't hate it. It's just different. Okay, that's the main part of his body. Chest coming down. Their bodies are quite large as they get bigger. As they get older compared to their heads, they're massive dudes. They can feed so many people. I know. If you love Bambi, me too. But you gotta eat. Probably gonna get a lot of hate for that. That's all right. Yeah, I'm more concerned with getting his body into this shot. More his body than his actual legs. I'm not as worried. Big boy. Yeah, a little high. I'm not going for an exact replication. I'm just trying to get true to his form so that it makes sense. The muscles line up where they should. That kind of stuff. Okay, his back somewhere in here. His big old butt, and then the back side is up a little bit. It's got a bit of a rump to it. Then his back leg comes in. Then he kind of got his legs crossed, but he looks like a stag to me. Looks a bit like a deer, right? A buck. I wasn't going for a doe. I wanted to do a buck. Right? I always wants to do the girly girls. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go for the boy, big boy. Okay, that looks a little bit more like a deer to me. Oh man, that was rough. Just the way your mother likes it. Back. His tail's not that big. Again, the white. I'm gonna try to remember to do the white, black, and black, white. But if I don't remember that, not the end of the world. I just was trying to make this a little different. That shows up brilliantly on the camera. I happened to look at it just now. I'm like, man, that's cool looking. I kind of like that. Okay, so the black. See, I'm already screwing up. The black will be white. If I can remember to do that, black will be white. Wherever there's gray, I'm gonna fill in with white. Is the intention. I'm trying to leave some light in his eyes. There's some impressions of muscle back here where he's kind of turned like this. Kind of cool. Pull down here. I mean, good job, Wellman. All right, so that's pretty much. He does have this extra here, so I want to kind of like come back in and fill this with white here, by kind of playing around with ink, and then we'll see how I manage to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it exactly like I'd like to, but I'm gonna try it, see if I can remember to do that. But for now, this is my basic guy, and I'm also gonna throw some of the grass and stuff in there, I think too. Just some blades, just to kind of make it look interesting. But for now, I think he looks pretty cool. The only thing that sucks is that it went kind of off the sheet there, so I could maybe tighten up his antlers to be just a little shorter. That way they're on the page like that. I mean, just off the page. Usually I go for the mass and then the head and all that kind of stuff, kind of collectively. If I'm drawing a person, I'll go for the head and then I'll work their body around. It's good to get the mass down first, because then where they sit, so to speak, overall as composition. All right, I'm gonna try hitting this with white and see where this goes. I know that it'll erase really well, so that's good. And try to hit it so you can see a little of that black in his eye. Let me give that a shot. Come right back to it. Okay, so the sketch is done. Let's try to get into this ink. I have yet to use the white. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. I think I'm gonna use a reservoir nib because last time I used it seemed to go pretty far. So I'm gonna try that. I think its number doesn't have a number because it's a reservoir nib. It's pretty obvious. Or it should be, huh? Yeah, a little battleship looking thing. I feel like it holds more ink, and that is the point. And I don't know if that's true. It's just kind of what it felt like. So we go and try that, and I still didn't get a needed eraser. I should have, but I did not. So yeah, we're just gonna run with this, and I'm just gonna dip straight into this thing. Would have helped to grab talking to my kitten. Forgot to grab some paper towels. Gotta have paper towels to dry the nib and to wipe off any mess I make, because I'm gonna make a mess. Let's just be real. Okay, moment of truth. Never used this white ink, and I've never. This is all new. So wherever there's darkness, I'm gonna light. Okay, I should have said wherever there is a pencil mark, I am gonna ink that. I remember when I was a kid, my older brother, who passed away many years ago, had done a lot of like velvet style drawings and and stuff back in like early, late I want to say around the 80s or so. He used to do them all the time when he was still in school. He was an awesome artist. He could draw anything. When I was a kid, I'd be like, draw me Garfield. And he would just, from memory, he would just draw everything. He'd like draw Garfield really quick. Really cool. I think my grandmother still had it last I remembered before she passed. She had his art still in the one room. Clay pots and stuff that he had made and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. I don't know. I used to just admire his stuff. I always thought it was really cool that he had taken the time to do all that stuff, you know, and he kind of got away from it as he got older, unfortunately. Really good. My other brother forgets that he used to draw too. He was using really intricate mazes. I'm like, no, it's not really drawing though. I'm like, you're silly. Those mazes were crazy. They were these, I should just call them labyrinths because that's what they were. They were incredibly detailed, like it just painstaking off, you know, from not even, he didn't plan them out. He would just draw them while he was in math class. While he was listening to lecture, he'd be doing, and he was good at math. He was an excellent student. He was really good. So they could stop him in the middle of him drawing a maze and be able to answer the question or whatever, go right back to work. I'm not saying, you know, don't focus. I'm saying he was focused. That's how he focused. I think all my brothers, me, my middle brother, suffer from that ADHD, but I don't think Rob, my older brother, I don't think he ever did. I don't think he ever had problems with focusing. His was just authority issue. I have a little bit of that myself. Try not to be. I don't mean like law and stuff. It's like when you're a kid, you don't listen to the teachers very well. And it's funny though, because I'm good at work though. When I have a job, I'm kind of working for my wife right now, and I'm good about doing stuff when I need to. Lillian, ma'am, can you not stand on the desk and come over here while I'm trying to do this? I know what you're gonna do. Don't do it. I know what she was gonna do. She's gonna jump over here, make a mess. She's actually really well behaved for a house cat, and she's been outside a couple times. She has really no intention, like no want to go outside. Sometimes she does, but the other cats, they don't want to be in here. She likes being in her little room. She will sneak out into the living room sometimes. She used to go out there all the time, but she likes being in here, I think. I mean, she must. She's always in here. Yeah, again, this is drawing a little lighter, which I kind of expected because it's, you know, white is hard to be opaque, and it just takes a little bit of patience to let it cure, dry up. I mean, okay. So the hard part is going to be, once I get this all, sorry, I'm trying to see if I'm doing this right. The hard part is going to be trying to sketch his fur and stuff. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing, okay? I'm going to sneak in here. His eyes are a little bigger than I intended for them to be, but it is what it is. This ink does whatever the hell it wants to do. He's a little cartoony, but I mean, whatever. It's just fun. That's okay. It's okay. It's a little cartoony. There that goes. Scratching this paper too much. Oops, not trying to, but yeah. Yes. I certainly draw better than I ink. I'll tell you that much. Pulling up some of the paper. Oh, Lord. It looks terrible, but whatever. It is what it is. That just looks awful. I mean, absolutely terrible. Jesus. I don't think I'm sharing this with y'all. What an awful mess this is. I mean, he just looks terrible. So he's wearing a damn, I don't even know what the hell. This is just disappointing. I'm just gonna blacken that out. That doesn't look right. Or whiten it out or whatever. Yeah, that looks better. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, great. So I'm just gonna keep wigging it. Now I'm gonna show you guys my failures. I promised myself I would do that. If I didn't, I wouldn't be sharing much now, would I? Not sure if this is drying up or... He looks kind of like a staggish kind of guy. Even not my best interpretation or attempt, but I did it nonetheless. I don't really know what the purpose of this paper is for. Like, I mean, I don't know if there's maybe for gel pens or something. I'm sure it's not really meant for this, but it's heavy enough. I mean, it's a 98-pound paper, I think it is. So it's not like it's not heavy enough to withstand beating the hell out of it with a pen like this. A little heavier here. His cranium is a little big, but I mean, I guess the size of the head that I drew. But all right, he doesn't look too bad anymore. Trust the process, right? Trust the process. That's kind of cool. He's got quite a bit of white. That there, like that there. So the blacker spots are where the whites more or less are on his face. I took some liberty, of course. It's more or less accurate. He looks like a deer, right? Hope. Giving him some texture in his antlers here. There we go. Clean that up a little bit. There we go. That's kind of cool. The pop's pretty hard, I think. Especially his head right here. Oops. So I think I'm just going to throw on a couple little beads of grass. Nothing intense. Just kind of get an idea that he's in a field of wheat or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. This white paint might just be drying up faster than the black ink does. Just trying to give it some depth, you know, a little bit of interest. Am I not dipping it in there? Come on. There is some bushy, like flower-like structures. I'm just going to indicate that a little bit. They're not super foliated, if that's even a word. Probably not. I'm just making up my own thing. Just to give you a sense of what I'm looking at. And he's got these little leafy things next to him. I think it gives a better sense of depth. I don't know for sure if it does, but that's how I feel. Just kind of impressions of leaves and things. I don't go for perfectionism with this kind of thing. It's just meant to be the intent that there is something there, right? That's how impressionism works. The intent is that you're seeing some kind of structure or whatever, and there's nothing there. It's just ink on paper or paint canvas or whatever. The famous or infamous, however you want to think about it, where It says in French, this is not a pipe painting. It's been done for Mario too. It's pretty funny. And I think that's pretty good. I mean, maybe one more here. Kind of paint picture. Pun intended. I think so. Kind of frames it a little bit if you kind of go a little bit away from him. That's busy enough to me. It looks like you just snap picture and cut everything else around him. I mean, I can go further and do like something in the background, but I don't think that's really necessary. I think this is fine. What is this? Inktober 5. I usually sign this too. That'll work for me. Anyway, if you hung out for this one, I really appreciate it. This was cool. It was a very, very interesting experiment. I know I always talk and then I touch up a little bit of something, but just want to give that back line a little bit of a touch. Anyway, if you hung out and you enjoyed it, I appreciate it. Thanks for chilling, and I will catch you on the next Inktober. Peace.